You're listening to Read the Damn Book, and this is episode number 26. Welcome to Read the Damn Book podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Glogovac, where I read every book of every author that I interview on this show. This is a spinoff of the Webby-nominated My Simplified Life podcast, where we go behind the scenes. I don't just want to hear about the book. I want to hear about the author, the human being behind the words that we all fall in love with. Here, you're going to hear directly from the authors what their journey through life has been like, their journey through writing their book, and some behind the scenes on every book. So let's get started and read the damn book. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going behind the scenes with the band of The Future Saints with Ashley Winstead. I read The Future Saints and could not put it down. And then I went to a concert and I couldn't stop thinking about what was going on backstage, what the bandmates were going through, and so much more. This book is different from the other genres that Ashley writes about, and you're going to hear all about what that's like as a writer, how that works with publishers, and how this book was extremely personal after the passing away of her father. I adore Ashley. She's a good friend now, and there's some secrets that she gives away when it comes to what comes in the pre-order. So stay tuned and give it a listen. Hi, Ashley.
Hi. How
I'm
are
so
you?
excited. I'm so good. Happy Pub Day, because today is
Thank
Pub
you.
Day. We are
Yes.
recording in the summer, so by the time this comes, I'll be in sweaters.
Yes, I can't wait. Oh yeah, I should have worn my January wear. Actually, I'm
I,
in Houston, so it's pretty much this.
so it's always that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
lived in Houston for a blip, and it is always that. Yes,
Always
but
this.
we'll pretend. We'll see what I look like in January because it's August right now.
I love it.
That's how people will know that we recorded early,
Yes, I know. There's like light tan on our faces and
right? Yes. So happy Pub Day. The Future Saints is out now.
yes, amazing. I'm so excited.
Can you introduce yourself to everyone for a moment, please?
Yes. Okay, so I'm Ashley Winstead. I am the author of quite a few genres now. I seem to be like collecting them like infinity stones. Of mystery thrillers, romantic comedies, and The Future Saints is my first foray into what my publishing team has been calling upmarket fiction, but I call romantic dramedy. So we'll, call it whatever you want, but it is essentially a story about grief, overcoming grief, living through grief, and finding ways to keep going, reasons to keep going, and kind of reinvest in all the things that make life worth living. And then, of course, there's romantic subplot there as well.
I love it. I devoured it.
Thank you.
And I love that you've written so many different genres, because I feel like whenever I talk to an author, they're, they stay in their lane per se.
Yeah.
And, publishers don't want you to try out too many different things, and you build
You
an
don't.
audience in a certain genre. So how have you done that over the years?
It's so interesting because I didn't know coming into this career, the second career, third career. I'm a millennial, so I'm on probably like my sixth or seventh, if I'm being honest, career. But it's the one that I always wanted to do. But I really didn't know how incentivized authors are to stay in their genre lane, and the kind of conventional wisdom behind that is you want to build a brand, you want readers to know what they're in for when they pick up a book by, Ashley Winstead or insert author name. And so I am a voracious reader of across genres. And I always thought like, oh, I'll write a mystery, I'll write a historical fiction, I'll write a fantasy. And then kind of quickly found out that that's not really what, the powers that be want you to do. But I think by sheer force of will and grit and enthusiasm, I've been able to persuade, my agent and various publishers to take a chance on me and publish me in different genres. And now it's kind of like my calling card, my brand that I'm trying to build is like, you are never going to know what to expect, and you better read those genre tags carefully, because I do have some reviews for some of my thrillers that are like, whoa, I read her rom-coms and like this slapped me in the face. I didn't realize this wasn't a romance. So yes, everyone read the genre tags very
That's
carefully.
hilarious. You never know what you're going to get with Ashley.
You never know.
That's the
Yes.
spice of life, though, I
I
think.
think so. I mean, it keeps things, for me, it keeps things fresh. And I have one of those brains, for better or worse, that just wants to jump all over the place, that wants to try my hand at different voices, at different structures. You know, it's like my hunger to try new things is kind of endless.
I
So,
think that's fun. And I think as a reader, if I like the way you write, then I'm going to like
mm,
whatever it is you write.
I
So
love that.
I'm here for whatever genre you want to write in. I think that's awesome
Thank
because I
you.
want to be able to do the same thing. Like it gets boring even in my business. I'm working
Yeah.
with different types of people. They don't just all fit in one lane. We don't just pitch to one type of podcast. That would be stale.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and I totally get it because some people are so good at what they do. You know, they're experts in their lane and everyone just wants more of that from them. And I totally get that. But yeah, no, that's just not for me. Everyone's built different.
So let's talk about the future saints because
Yes.
it is about grief. So you're making it sound very heavy, and it is heavy. There's a big,
Mhm.
heavy part to it. But I also loved the lighter part of like this band, this
Yeah.
group of people who are together. And I have to tell you, I read the book, and then the next night we saw the Psychedelic Furs. I think I
Yeah.
DM'd you on this.
Yes.
And so the guitar player who is in the Psychedelic Furs is actually the brother of one of my old coworkers.
Oh,
So
cool.
I'm looking at him up there and I'm like, wow, he's got a much more weird life than I thought. Getting along with these guys, these bandmates, what goes
Hmm.
on, before the concert, after the concert, and the singer and another guitarist are brothers, and I bet there's more drama. And I'm only thinking this because I've read your book.
Yes, and you're like, what is happening when they get off
Yes.
stage and they're backstage in the green room and they're decompressing? Yeah.
So
Um,
how did this come about?
you know, it's so I think this book, The Future Saints, has lived so many different lives, more than any other book I've written. Probably it has been in the works probably as long or longer than my debut novel, which, you know, I worked on ahead of the publishing deal and
Hmm.
even knowing I was going to get to do this. I originally wrote The Future Saints as a romantic comedy. So I wrote almost the entire book as this really, really light, funny, um, enemies to lovers rom-com. Because it was going to be my option book for my previous romance publisher. And then several things happened in quick succession. I lost my father, unfortunately, who passed away. I was kind of working through grief. That was my first big experience, losing someone that I was really close to. And I decided to no longer work with my rom-com publisher. So I had this funny, lighthearted book. I had all of this with nowhere to put it, with nothing to do with it. I had, you know, this kind of like new reality post loss and trying to figure out where to put those feelings. And I happened, my agent and I happened to submit the book for publication to a Caitlin Olson at Atria, who is now my editor. And it must have been fate or something because she read what I had written of the Future Saints, and we got on this Zoom call, and she said to me, Ashley, I really like this book. I like the characters, but I just have this feeling that it's a story about loss and sisterhood and more than it is meant to be this like kind of funny, you know, rom-com. Would you ever consider rewriting this book from scratch, basically, and turning it into like upmarket book club fiction? And I just sat across that like computer screen from her, and I was like, I don't know how you were dropped into my lap and what gift, the fates were, but that is exactly what I want to do. That so I spent the next, we agreed, we sold the book to her, and I spent the next year and a half taking the manuscript down, gutting it, stripping it down to the foundations, and rewriting the entire thing. And it was quite a task, but it was something where I got to like put all of these feelings. It couldn't have come at a better time. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the the manuscript that came out of that fusion of a really, really light, funny book and these new feelings that I was kind of wrestling with is this very unique sort of product.
Yes.
I product probably isn't this unique story. And I don't know if I would be able to recreate that, right now, but it's just those circumstances. So it has this really interesting backstory, I guess.
It does. And your first, I don't even know how many chapters in until we find out the truth
Yeah.
of Hannah's sister. And I was I was totally convinced. I'm like, wait, what? What just happened? It was like whiplash for me. It was
Yeah.
so perfectly written. I
Yeah.
had no clue. No
That
clue at
makes
all.
me so happy because, coming from my mystery and thriller background, I'm like always sweating about pulling off twists and trying not to reveal too much. So I'm very
Yeah.
happy to hear that.
Yes, and people just pick up the book and you'll figure out what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
everybody. Because yes, I was totally convinced, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Now I see where we're going with this. It
Yeah.
was so clever, so well written. Yes, I love that because it's not a mystery book, and yet you are being that mysterious in it
Yeah.
of like, nope, that's not what's happening. Gotcha.
Yeah, there are some questions and some things withheld that you're kind of digging um as the reader, digging towards, racing towards, wanting to kind of uncover, um, which
And
I
I feel
like in any genre of book.
Yeah, I feel like also when you look at all of the characters, they all have their flaws,
Yeah,
but in the end, you really genuinely love all of them. Like
I'm so happy to hear that.
they're
Yeah,
all good people.
yeah,
There's nobody like nobody's well, there's the one
yeah,
who's out to get everybody. But other than the one,
yeah,
everyone else is just they all want something good and they come together, I don't want to give any parts of it away, but they all just they form the full human being that they're supposed to be
yeah,
individually, and they all have really good qualities to them. So I don't feel like we go into there's no character that well, there's the one that
yeah.
you hate, but
Yes,
the other main characters you like them all, you love them all, and they're quirky. And
yeah.
the one who doesn't wear a shirt reminds me of School of Rock. Do you? I have two
Well,
kids
I'm
who are
trying to. I
obsessed
know Jack
with.
Black. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's the
Um,
one that Jack Black gets fired and replaced by the guy who
okay.
doesn't wear a shirt, or he like wears part of a shirt, and he
Uh-huh.
does these funny moves. And if anyone's not watching this podcast episode, you should go watch it because I just made
Okay.
the funny move. Um, because my kids, they're like obsessed with the movie. So
I
we
love
watch it on
that.
every car ride. And that was who I pictured
I love
reading this
that.
book. Yes.
I was picturing the guitarist in No Doubt, the band that,
Okay.
yes, so just for anyone who's curious about who Ripper was in my head, that's the inspiration. But I love that because one of my favorite elements, both to read and to write in a book, is found family. And I think that that is so often the case with human beings is a lot of people are I'm an optimist, so inherently good, and sometimes a lot of times of like friction and mess that we create together are people's good intentions, but with their blinders on, not realizing how they're coming across other people, and all of that, people, a lot of good people's good intentions colliding. And I think that that's what happens a lot with the band in particular,
Mhm.
and probably between Hannah and Theo too, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh, I like Theo. He's very entourage. That's
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
And then of course my husband is Ted Theodore. So
Oh
I had a
gosh,
little bit of that. Yeah. I'm like dark hair and yes, that
y-
is it. But
you came into it with like a soft spot maybe for,
yes.
yes, I
Yes.
love
I was like,
that.
we're gonna like Theo. He better turn out good.
Yeah, he better be a good one. I love it. He's a
And you
very good
cover so many deep topics and subjects.
one.
There is the grief aspect, there
Yeah,
is this romance, and yet it's such a tangled web
yeah,
because of substance abuse, addiction,
yeah,
and the grief that is still playing a part. And then there's therapy, and it's so much, but it's not like a here, go sit with this and
yeah.
and
I
you're gonna
know.
drown while you're reading it too. It's not like that at all. It's entertaining.
Thank you. That was a challenge that I set for myself, was to write, because I've written very heavy books and I've written extremely light, zany books. And I wanted to challenge myself to write a book that covered all those things that you just mentioned, but did it in as light and entertaining a way as possible without losing the integrity or the seriousness of thinking talking about substance abuse or grief. So that is probably why it took me so long to perfect this book. Not that it's perfect, but just like get it to a place where at least I, as the writer, was looking at it and thinking like, okay, I think I've done what I set out to do. Other people will get to weigh in now, but I think I have done this. Yeah,
Well,
that
if they
was
don't
really,
agree, then please don't weigh in.
yeah.
We don't want to hear about it.
I'll send them to you so you can set them straight.
I will,
Yeah.
absolutely. I feel like have you ever, I don't know if you've seen these out in Texas, but we have here in California the commercials for Passages. It's in Malibu. It's like the addiction
Oh,
recovery.
yes, yes,
And it's the
yes.
son who's like, I'm the founder too. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's in your book
Yes,
because I'm like, oh, this makes me kind of want to go.
I know the resort version of the
Yes.
yeah. I know that was something that I actually had to dive deep into research to like figure out exactly what really fancy recovery centers looked like, what the programming would typically be, what the rules are, what the length of time you stay there, like all those things you've got to figure out. And that actually it was really important to me in writing this book to put therapy on the page and not just kind of allude to it, just because I'm such a huge believer in therapy, and advocate for it and think everyone would benefit from it. And so as a kind of like put your money where your mouth is and sort of thing, I wanted that to be on the page. And that was something I actually went kind of back and forth with my editor on, because she was like, do we need this? And I'm like, no, these chapters with Hannah talking to Dr.
X.
Xavier, yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. X, are some of the only moments where she eventually is honest with herself and another person. And I really felt like that was an important thing to have on the page. So,
And I
um,
love Dr. X. I envision this like kind of like a Susan Powers with the short
yes, oh my
hair,
God, I hadn't thought about
silver,
Susan
and
Parr.
like she's all in black, and that's how I
Yes,
felt like she's showing up, and then
nailed it.
she's calling her out on her bullshit, just
Exactly.
like a therapist should.
As
I,
a therapist should. Yeah, she's kind of my like platonic ideal of a therapist for sure.
I love that. Oh, I love that. And I did cry, not at the very, very end, but close to the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
And we don't want to give away where, but where she looks up and spots him. And I'm like, yes.
That makes me, is it weird to say that makes me really happy? But
No, I think it's great.
it
If you could,
does.
I think if a writer can move someone to emotion that brings tears and stuff and invests us so deeply that we do get emotional, then you've done your job more than.
I
Yes.
I feel that same way when I read books that bring me to tears. And for anyone curious, I was crying while writing it, so and so you always hope that it's not just you, that it's something that gets conveyed on the page and is a point of connection, I guess.
I love it because we invest ourselves into these characters and,
Yeah.
we're spending hours. I think I spent like 8 hours with your book. So, and you spent even more time creating these characters. And so they're a part of you.
Absolutely. I mean, there are certain points in this book, and really throughout the entire book, and not just towards the end, but where, like clockwork, it would be this part where it would always bring me to tears, and I would actually have to work it into my editing schedule because I would be sitting here at my computer. I'm like, okay, well, we're getting to chapter, XYZ, and we know what that chapter does to us. So let's schedule like a 20-minute decompression after that, and then we'll get back on track. And sure enough, like as I'm working through it, I'm experiencing all the feelings. Um, and yeah, just because it's one of those things where it not only am I as a writer and hopefully as a reader, you are just living that character's experience in that moment. And there are certain things that are just so important for me to convey correctly to try to reach the like accurate depth of what I mean to say and hope to say that just always gonna have an triggered emotional reaction, I guess.
I love that. Who was
Yeah.
your favorite character? Did you have one?
Oh God, it's so hard not to love Kenny in the band. He's just such a sweetheart. But that said, I'm gonna have to say Hannah, and I say that almost protectively. So here we are. It's pub day, when this is coming out, but it's months ahead of that in the summer. And I write a lot of characters, female characters who are messy and complicated and don't always make the right choices. And I refuse to ever do anything differently. But my experience as a writer has been that those are the characters that often get really, really torn apart and kind of underappreciated by readers. That even if they love a book with a messy, unlikable, which I'll just leave that there and won't go on my tirade about unlikable female characters, but that even if they love a book, that's that character will be like their least favorite part or something. And so I feel preemptively protective of Hannah because she is so messy and for very understandable reasons, but still I kind of want to like shield her from the world, very much the way I guess Theo does in the book. So I'll say Hannah in the hopes that other people will.
That's totally understandable. And
Yeah.
she's a creative genius while she's at it. How
Yeah.
did you go about that kind of research about the band, about because there's lyrics in there too.
Yeah.
Did you just come up with those? Do you have a secret like that we don't know of an ability to write songs?
I started my writing journey as a poet. And not that you can tell by these lyrics that are in my and quickly moved into genres I'm better suited for. But no, it was this like beautiful happenstance where my husband has ADHD and gets hyperfixations. And so they last like, from anywhere from a month to years. And since the pandemic, so now for years, he has been hyper fixated on teaching himself how to play the guitar and learning everything there is to know about music and bands. So for the past, I don't know, 5 years or longer, I have been submersed in music documentaries, The room behind me is a music room. My husband is a NASA engineer, so like there he does not do this. This is again a hobby hyperfixation. Learning how to play guitar alongside him, watching I want to say probably at least 1,000 to 2,000 hours of people on YouTube breaking down chord progressions and how to write lyrics. So I have been on a journey, like looking over his shoulder, and it's really worked out well for me with this book. Is I got to like figure out how to write and talk about music and what it does look like when a band leaves stage and is, behind the scenes, what it's looked like for so many different big bands historically through all these documentaries. So yeah, the research has been incredibly intense, but almost by accident. And it's been something that I've been able to share with my husband. And now my husband is in a band. And so I get to go, be a garage rock band. I get to be a groupie for him. And
Oh,
as
I
I like
love
sit there
this.
and write my notes, right? So I'm like both groupie and anthropologist and observer.
This was not the answer I thought you were going to come up with. So I absolutely love it. I love that you
Yeah.
threw in that, oh, he's a NASA engineer.
Yeah.
Like he's a rocket scientist. It's
He's a
not,
rocket scientist, but more importantly, he would argue, he is a pretty good guitarist at this point,
I
and
love that.
is taking voice lessons and just like literally everything you could do in the world of music, we have done together.
That
Um,
is awesome. So maybe he needs this, he's going to do this as like a career pivot.
I think this is his like most favorite hobby. And if you and I talk a few years from now, I might come to you and be like, Michelle, it's drag racing. And it's the new thing where we're just going to like F1 races and it's he's working on cars or whatever.
I'm going
Uh,
to argue that this would be better than drag races.
I agree. Though the our offices are right next door to each other. This is also
Oh,
my guest room. We're not quite fancy enough to have like separate offices yet. One
I'm in the
day.
dining room.
Oh
I'm in the
yeah,
dining
no,
room.
you
Okay.
you
So
know
we're
the
good.
struggle.
I don't even
Yes.
have a door.
So yes, well, thank God I have a door, but he can't shut his door because his office is also the cat room with the litter boxes. So that was a trade we made. Um, but he like the constant music through the walls is something that I have to like bang on the wall and be like, I'm trying to write, keep it down. But then of course I'm like, I wonder if I could use this.
My gosh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love these little secrets that I
Little
never would have
secrets.
guessed.
Yes, just so for anyone whose husbands have hobbies or hyperfixations, figure out a way to plunder and use that for your own research and benefit.
I will. Mine
Hot
is
tip.
obsessed with World War II.
Ooh,
We even
okay.
have a 1945 Jeep,
Oh, wow, that's pretty
but
cool.
that would entail some historical fiction.
Yeah, that is the one genre that does intimidate me the most because of the weight of the research.
Yeah. So if you want to come move in,
Yeah.
you won't have an office here either, but you can have all the
Join you in your
research.
dining room and then
Yes.
yeah, just be like, well, I need to ask your husband a lot of informational interviews.
He'd be like, "Great, can I quit my job and do this
Yeah,
too then?"
exactly. Just like watching he's sitting on the couch watching the documentaries. I'm like, 5 feet behind taking notes.
Yes. Yes, he would be totally down for that if that
Yeah,
was
I'd be
his
like,
job. Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, I just need
All I
to
want.
do a lot more of this and then make that happen.
It's so good. Yeah, I know. My promise to my husband is to one day he can just do guitar and cats. He can be a cat dad.
I love
Um,
that.
that is what I blood, sweat, and tears every day. That's what the goal is.
I love it. I love it. Let's make it happen.
I
Between the
know.
two of us,
I
we'll make
know.
that
Yeah,
happen.
everyone has their
Yeah.
definition of success, right?
Yes.
Husband on the
Yes.
couch watching his World War II or reading his
Yes.
books, and mine, cat daddy.
Yeah. I'm like, or we could just move like to Europe and you do research there. And I could be in
That's
the
pretty
French
cool.
countryside drinking wine and writing and podcasting.
Oh, yes. Don't threaten you with a good time, right? Sounds amazing.
Are you working on something next?
always. Because I have two contracts going at all times with two different publishers and in two different genres. So I'm currently working on, I think, final edits, fingers crossed, on my next thriller. So which will also be out in 2026, but I haven't announced it yet. So it's hopefully that will come soon. And then I'm also working on the second book, the second upmarket fiction slash romantic dramedy, whatever you want to put label you want to put on it, as a follow up to Future Saints. So not within the same world, but just like the same genre.
Okay. So we won't know what happens. Because I
We
mean, you
won't.
allude to what happens, but I'm like,
Yes.
I just want to see it happen.
Yes. Yeah,
Maybe you
there's
could just add that in for me.
yeah. I do get in a lot of trouble with my readers sometimes about some of my endings. But yeah, maybe I could see there being a world in which I return to Future Saints if there's enough interest in it, because I don't feel done with those characters, and I've never said that before about a book. Normally by
Yeah.
the time I'm done wrapping the book, I feel like I've brought my characters to a place and figured out the perfect ending, and I truly don't want to touch it. I just want to leave it. But I feel like there's a lot.
I think there's more. And I think that if once we put this into a Netflix series, like you just
Yes.
finished season one and season two has to bring us back. There's more. I
Yeah.
feel like there is more.
I agree. I truly have never said this before, but I feel like these characters and their stories, they are so rich, and I have so much in my head, and there's so much more to put on the page. And this is like a little teaser, but this is going to air on Pub Day, so people will already know this. So now I don't feel guilty saying it, but one of our pre-order incentives is going to be a cut scene, because this book lived in so many different iterations. An earlier version of the book had a lot more spice on the page, spice
Oh,
between Hannah and Theo. And so one of the pre-order incentives is going to be a deleted scene that is between Hannah and Theo, this like beautiful kind of romantic scene,
clever.
spicy scene. Yes.
Clever on the marketing side and so fun on the spicy side.
So
Need to get my
fun.
hands on that.
Yes. I will absolutely, yes, send that. Be sending
Yes.
that to your way between now and when this
Yes.
airs.
And I love that I just got that secret and like by the
Yes.
time this airs, everyone will know, but I'm like,
Everyone will
haha,
know,
I
yeah.
get this for 5 months to sit on.
Yes, you get this early. But yeah, I'm very excited. And as an author, it's very gratifying because, there's so many tens of thousands of words that I've written and scenes between these characters that will never see the light of day. For good reason, because I like the version of the book that exists now, but I'm very excited that this in particular is going to exist in
I love
canon.
this on so
Yeah.
many levels. I love
Yeah,
it.
that makes me happy.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh,
They
you
deserve
are
it.
such a delight.
Oh,
I
thank
am so
you.
glad we have gotten to connect and thank you for letting me slide into your DMs like a crazy stalker.
No,
Uh,
what a joy. Thank you for like reaching out, and now we get to do this, and it's been so amazing.
yes, I thank you. And where can everybody stalk you some more and follow
Yes.
you and buy the Future Saints out today?
Genuinely, please come stalk me and be my friend over at on Instagram, which is where I tend to hang out. At Ashley Winstead Books is my handle. My website is ashleywinstead.com, so that's pretty easy. And I'm really not anywhere else because,
You don't need
like
to
I
be anywhere
said,
else.
yeah, I have to write a lot of books, so I can't be on too many platforms. There's just
I
not enough
love it.
time. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Ashley.
you. Thank you so much. Love talking to you.
I hope you grabbed your pre-order before this came out today because, ooh, the spicy deleted chapter. Yes, y'all need to get your hands on it if you still can. This is such a fantastic read. Please go buy and read the damn book of The Future Saints because it is good. There's a lot of heavy topics, as we mentioned, but it is so worthwhile. And I promise you, you will cry, but you'll also laugh and you will have all the feels and the emotions that come with it.